Wonderful, wonderful.
This is Bruce Buffer, and this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the MMA Holes!
Mixed martial a-holes. MMA holes, MMA holes, MMA holes, MMA holes. You like to be a mixed martial a-hole. MMA holes, MMA holes, MMA holes, MMA holes, MMA holes.
No way.
From the Aunt and Uncle Studios of Arizona, Jake Paul versus Jorge Masvidal. Is that the next fight? UFC Vegas 35 fight week. The Jake Paul versus Woodley fight week as well. PFL, Bellator, MMA news. Let's go with the MMA. Hello, friends. How you doing tonight? It's good to see everyone here in the chat. A little tardy to start the show. Bullshit going on, but you know, it happens. Shit happens. Life happens, and we move forward. Thank you for putting my face in the chat. We'll see if Jesse's going to join us. We have no idea, but we'll see how that goes. Jake Paul versus Jorge Masvidal. What do you think about this? What you thinking? People are probably like, hey, he's got to fight Tyron Woodley, right? I mean, what the hell are you talking about, Jorge Masvidal? Well, Masvidal picks Tyron Woodley to win the fight. Masvidal did help Jake Paul to train against Ben Askren. And now Jake Paul's pretty much like, they could all get this smoke, and they'll see. So then I was thinking, I was tossing it around in my MMA hole. Not my MMA hole, my head. What would happen if Jake Paul fights Jorge Masvidal? And you would think I would have like a solid, confident answer. You would think Jorge would win, right? Like that's what I would assume. Yeah, Masvidal would win that fight. Boxing versus Jake Paul, of course. And then I started thinking about more and more. I'm like, maybe he doesn't win. So if Jake Paul defeats Tyron Woodley. Now, I know Jorge Masvidal has he signed a multi-fight deal before his last fight, the rematch with Usman. So he did fight, sign off for some extra fights. I am curious how many fights Jorge has, because it kind of makes some sense. They have a little backstory together, nothing bad. You know, they were actually supporting each other. And then the drama now is Jorge Masvidal supports Tyron Woodley, and Jake Paul's like, wait, hold on a second. So I'll put a poll in the chat to see what you guys think about this. And I think a lot of people are probably going to pick Masvidal. But my question to you is why? This is boxing. Now, if it's MMA, it's a whole different story, right? But there's a reason why a lot of us are going to be tuning in to Tyron Woodley competing in the box under the boxing rule set with Jake Paul. There's a lot of people going to be tuning into that because they're kind of split. Some are saying Jake's actually the favorite, which is insane. I'm saying Tyron Woodley. Am I confident? No. I am not confident in any way. And it's kind of bizarre. It feels weird. It doesn't feel right that Jake Paul, who only has 3 fights against guys that honestly aren't really boxers, some aren't even fighters. Yet he's 3-0. And I guess that counts. 10-ounce gloves. Jake Paul will be entering a ring against Tyron Woodley, who is a lot smaller than him. They're fighting at 190 pounds. Seems like everything is in favor of Jake Paul when it comes to the stats. But you do have Tyron Woodley as the champion, right? He's won belts. He's won a belt. He's defended the belt. One of the better welterweights of all time. So if you throw Jorge Masvidal in the mix, right? And then people are going out there saying Jorge Masvidal beats Jake Paul. Is everyone picking Tyron over Jake? Who has a better shot against Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley or Jorge Masvidal? You do remember Jorge, he fought at 155. He's even smaller, you know? So you put Jorge in there against a guy that's 200 plus pounds that has fairly decent boxing skills. Jake Paul could beat Jorge Masvidal as well. It's kind of wild. And then if you go like this, well, who would win in a boxing match? Woodley or Jorge Masvidal? I started scratching my head. I was like, well, you know what? Like, I would think Jorge would win, but I'm not quite sure if Jorge beats Jake Paul in boxing. But I think Woodley will, but I don't know if Woodley could beat Jorge in boxing, and now I'm scratching my head. We're an MMA channel, so I'm fairly positive when I put this poll up that majority of the people are going to be picking Jorge Masvidal over a Jake Paul. Now, this conversation is fucking stupid. I'm just going to go out there and say it. It's dumb. Jake Paul boxing is kind of dumb, right? Tyron Woodley fighting Jake Paul is dumb. But I want to shove some popcorn in my mouth because I'm excited about this. I'm actually pretty pumped up about this fight in some odd circus way. If Jake Paul beats Tyron Woodley, do you think down the road when Jorge Masvidal is done with the UFC, Jorge decides to fight a Jake Paul? I think that it would be more likely we see Jorge fight Jake than Conor. Just throwing it out there. I really do believe that that fight is more likely to happen. Now, I'm going to put this in the chat, but let me ask the people what they think. I'm going to put a poll out there soon. Anyone who punches against Jake Paul cause Askren doesn't count, and the others were not good at all at punching facts. This is stupid conversation, Moss. You're right. It is. It's dopey, man. It is. It's a dumb conversation that we wrapped ourselves up in, but it's very possible that we might see in the future Jorge Masvidal fighting Jake Paul. It's kind of nuts. Anyone who punches against Jake Paul cause Askren, I saw that. Masvidal is an undefeated boxer and is no lay and pray. And Jorge is close to the absolute best in the boxing world. But at 145, he KO'd Ray 2 times, and Woodley won't pull the trigger. So I guess you're saying that Jorge would beat Tyron. Now, I don't know what Jorge Masvidal's boxing stats are. All I know is he was fighting in the street. So how many boxing wins, pro boxing wins, does Jorge Masvidal have? I didn't even know he was pro boxing. So school me on this, Joseph Roy. When was Jorge Masvidal doing some pro boxing? Was it before he got into the UFC? Let me know. An hour late. Yeah, well, if we told you our reasoning, you wouldn't be trolling. Cussing Tyron Woodley going to go in there and go for it. If Jake Paul knocks out Woodley, the world will crumble. The world will crumbled. It's possible. I think that's why we're all tuning in. It's quite possible Jake Paul could knock out Tyron Woodley. Like I said, I'm picking Woodley. And what about this poster over here? They're kind of doing T-Wood dirty. I know Jake is basically getting all the moolah, but what are we doing throwing Tyron in the back of the bus over here like the old days? What are we doing here? Is it because he's black? Like, what's going on here? Why is Jake Paul all front and center? And there's Woodley peeking over the shoulder like the creepy guy in the background. Interesting choice of positioning in the poster. Wow, Jorge has one pro boxing. He has one pro boxing fight. Is that what it is? Is that true? So the guy's basing it on one pro boxing fight? Cut the shit if you're an MMA fighter, you're a boxer. Cut the shit if you're an MMA fighter, you're a boxer? What? when you're talking about the sweet science, right, boxing, and then you talk about MMA, you pluck someone from MMA, you throw them in the boxing world, chances are the boxer has the advantage. As much as I would love to say, but hey, throw him in the MMA world, the boxer gets destroyed. That's my opinion. Fury is going to kill Pretty Boy Taylor. This I know. Yeah, I'm not confident about that fight. Pretty Boy Taylor, who's about like 4'3". We're all fucking morons for even watching this and giving Jake Paul a chance of winning, says Uncle O'Reilly. Well, it depends how you're watching it. Depends. When are we going to look at Jake Paul as a decent boxer and give him some respect? Some have done so after the Askren thing. And I already knew that Jake was going to beat Askren. I mean, that was pretty easy for me on that fight, and people were split on that. But when are we all going to look at this kid and be like, hey, he might be all right? I don't think right now is the time. But we can put fights in front of him and start scratching our head and saying, wait, how's this going to work out? I see Kersey Paul says never. Jake Paul is what, 24 years old? How old's old Jake? How old's Jakey Poo? Let me look it up. Jake Paul he's only 24 years old. He's only 24 years old. Think about it. Has he fought in the best? No. But if you look at the guys in the beginning of the careers, the Floyd Mayweathers, the Canelo Alvarez's, like, you know, these superstars out there, who are they fighting in their first pro boxing fights? If you really think about it, who knows? Who knows, man? Masvidal will get baptized, says Joe B. I tell you what, you could make a strong argument that Jake Paul would beat Masvidal, which makes it a fascinating fight. So if Jake Paul beats Tyron Woodley and Masvidal can get back into the UFC cage quick and then realizes, hey, he's going to fight out his contract and that path to the belt, which, I mean, let's be serious. Jorge Masvidal talking about this belt. The next fight he wants is the closest fight that gets him to the belt. For Jorge Masvidal to go out there and say that, it's ridiculous, because let's be serious. As long as Kamaru Usman is sitting at top up, you know, Jorge's he's not getting that belt. Kamaru's got his number. He's just got his number. Now, maybe if Colby somehow beats the champ, you could squeeze Masvidal into the mix if he wins his next fight. It's possible. But I still think Masvidal doesn't beat Colby.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Kainoto coming in with a dono.
WHO do you have? In one corner you have a YouTuber with boxing skills and then you have an MMA fighter with boxing skills. This is fucking retardedly entertaining. I don't debate this anymore, I just popcorn.
You know what? And thank you, Kainoto, for the donation. That's probably our best bet. To stop the debate and just enjoy the circus. Because if we keep on picking these MMA fighters and Jake keeps on picking those MMA fighters off, we just look dumber and dumber. To the people out there that picked Ben Askren in that last fight, doesn't look so good. Now, to me, I'm picking Tyron Woodley. Tyron takes an L, gets knocked out in the first round. I look like a fucking idiot. I'm taking a gamble here, going strong with my T-Wood. Or if you're picking Jake Paul and Jake Paul gets knocked out in the first round, you look like an idiot as well, right? All the people out there saying, Jake Paul is the truth. Boxing, YouTube boxing is the real deal. You'll see. Jake Paul's only 24 years old. He's just going to grow and get better. And then he gets knocked out by Tyron Woodley in the first round. A man's 39 years old, way past his prime. I guess you look stupid too. Anyone that puts a hard pick on this fight Sunday night, either way, the loser's going to look pretty stupid. Maybe this is the last one I make a pick on. I don't know, but I'm gonna stand strong. Hang in there, Moss. Woodley will hold up MMA. I hold MMA up. I'm trying to hold it together here as I watch Tyron Woodley on Ariel's podcast cringe me to death. Like, I was just like, he's making it tough for me to pick this guy. I'm going to put the poll in the chat. I'm going to put a live poll in the chat right now. Who would win? Now, if I had to guess, the chat, since we are an MMA community, will most likely pick Jorge. But, okay, hold on a second. Before I put this poll up, hold on. I'm gonna put, let's put Masvidal, Jake Paul, okay? In boxing, very important part of the question. Because if I say who would win, that just doesn't make any sense. So I'm about to smash this poll into the chat right now, all right? And you smash that like while you're waiting on the poll to come up. Before that poll goes in to your fucking eyeballs, Jorge Masvidal has thrown out a tweet at 6:29 p.m. August 25th. Interesting. When did it? So we scheduled the stream. We tagged him, threw it on Twitter. When was our tweet? I'm just curious here. Let me just look at something real quick. We put our tweet out an hour ago at 5:56 p.m. At 5:56, we put this out. Who would win a boxing ring under boxing rules, Jake Paul or Jorge Masvidal? Then following this tweet, look what happens here.
Wonderful.
Got Kainoto coming in.
Remember those days when kids would find a green spider and toss it under a cup along with a grasshopper? The kids would sit and watch them fight to see who wins. This is the 2021 equivalent now. Smiley face.
Yes.
This was before technology.
This is the $60 version of the grasshopper fight. I've said this, and thank you, Kainoto, once again. Look at Kainoto coming in with 2 donations. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I said this when we created the channel. The whole reason for this channel is, listen, the reason why I watch MMA, it's not about belts. It's not about any of that bullshit. It's about fights. I just want to see 2 people go in there and just beat the shit out of each other and who wins. When I was a kid, I would watch bum fights, for God's sakes. I don't give a fuck what it is. I like combat. I like just, put 2 things together and just see what prevails. I like seeing that happen in the chat when we all debate with each other. I like a good scrap, I'm into that. So it does feel like that. Jorge Masvidal, after we released the tweet, Jorge Masvidal puts up his own tweet. And he says, I guess this means you'll stop hitting me up now on social media to hang out and train. Don't worry about me.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Jorge started training in boxing at 14. At 18 he started MMA with a first-round KO. 1 boxing bout in 05 at middleweight. Dude was mixing unsanctioned street fights with professional fights. So 22 years of fight experience equals Paul hardest fight if he takes it.
Okay, so there's a little backstory. Thank you for the statisticals over there. So technically only 1 pro boxing fight. The rest was on the street and in MMA. 1 pro boxing fight. Now, you look at everything he said over there in that donation, some dude, you would just say, yes, Jorge wins this fight. Jorge fought at 155 in the UFC, now fighting at 170, and let's be honest, he's clearly undersized at 170. He's undersized at 170. Jorge will take on anyone, right? He's a street fighter, for God's sakes. I'm sure he fought big guys in the street. But we're talking about like with 10-ounce gloves. So we're talking about against a man that's 200 plus pounds and has some decent boxing skills. Enough to have him survive in the clinch. I mean, if Jorge was having problems in the clinch with like a Damian Maia, or these guys grinding on him, why wouldn't Jake Paul just clinch him up and basically just push on him? He KO'd Darren Till. Yeah, that's a good point. A Darren Till that was starving at 170. Starving. Like the dude was fucking barely making 170. That Darren Till. But what if he fought Darren Till fully replenished? A 200-pound or a 190 Darren Till, which he would be facing a 190 Jake Paul. Size plays a part in boxing, for sure. Because there is the clinch. There is work against the ropes. You got a giant guy on top of you, and they keep on separating and on top of you and keep separating. No matter how much you work in that body, it's going to fucking tire you out. So, listen, I'm not saying Jake Paul beats Jorge, but you could make a damn good argument about it. Now, thank you for the tweet over there. And I know this is a ridiculous conversation. It sounds so fucking stupid, right? I get it. I feel like my brain cells are exploding from even talking about this on our live show. But it has to be addressed because there is a good chance we can see this happen. Jorge Masvidal back to his tweet over here. We'll start it over again. I guess this means you'll stop hitting me up now on social media to hang out and train. Don't worry about me. You got a handful of problems coming your way. Super necessary. It feels to me like when Ben Askren was fighting Jake Paul getting that whole little Tyron Woodley thing going, so he's promoting for the next fight. Yes, Jake Paul went and trained with Masvidal. Masvidal was an ally during the Askren situation. But here we go. The businessman in Jake Paul is now dragging Masvidal into the mix. And Masvidal knows what's going on. He's into it, right? It's like rinse and repeat. Masvidal is where Woodley was in the last fight. These guys are just trying to make some money. And Jorge Masvidal, I'm sure, has no problem fighting Jake Paul. I have no problem making a gazillion dollars fighting Jake Paul. They're setting it up. Let's drop the poll in the chat. Who would win in boxing? The poll is up, baby. All righty. Let's see. Get on that poll. That poll is up. Chat. Here we go. Okay. So, behind my head. Let's move this up. What the fuck? There we go. All right, we're going to move the poster out of the way. Behind my head is the poll over there. And it is a ridiculous poll. And yes, Masvidal probably is going to win because we are an MMA community. I'm curious to see how many people throw in the Jake Pauls over there. I am curious. And I gotta be honest with you. Oh, I hate to say this. I'm picking Jake Paul. I would pick Jake Paul in that fight. You figure the man would probably be around 26 years old, a lot more boxing experience, way bigger, stronger fighter. Jorge Masvidal used to fight at 150, for God's sakes. You're putting him in a cage with a man that's cutting weight to get to 190. Imagine, can Jorge Masvidal even hit 190? And maybe. If he eats a lot of super necessary cheeseburgers. It makes me sick to my stomach. Now, I'm picking Woodley in this fight. I got to be honest with you. I'm just going to try to go with the Woodley power, man. I'm hoping power's there. Woodley couldn't fight at 150. Yes, Woodley's shorter, but he's a thick dude. Woodley could not fight at 150 pounds. Jorge could. So I'm going to go with Woodley in this fight. And I'm going to pick Jake Paul. Because Jake Paul will probably fight him in 2 years. Maybe 1.5. Be around 26 years old. A little more training on his belt. I would pick Jake over Jorge. 65% are picking Jorge Masvidal. And I believe that you should be picking Jorge. It's an MMA channel. But I'm using my head. You passing the pipe? Yeah, I'll pass the pipe. Watch Jake win by KO in both. That'd be insane. Can he beat Tyron by a knockout? Yes, he can. He can do it. It's not impossible. I would love to take any bets on that fight, says Brewster. Moss is trying to start shit. No, listen. I'm just saying it how I see it. Does it eat at me? I stood next to Jorge Masvidal. I interviewed Jorge 4 years ago. He's not a big guy. He's not. He used to fight at 150. He's not a huge guy. Jake Paul dwarves Jorge Masvidal. It's the same reason why I'm kind of leaning to Jake over Conor. Conor used to fight at 145, for God's sakes. MMA is a different game. This is boxing. Gervonta versus Jake Paul. I mean, talk about a circus fight, but Gervonta, even though he's undersized, I mean, you would think he would smash Jake Paul, and Jake Paul put him on the hit list. Could you imagine if Jake gets to the point where he starts beating these guys over and over again, and by the time he turns like 26, 27 years old, and he still wants to do it, they're pairing him up with Canelos? Could you imagine? That'd be nuts. This is the fattest Tyron has looked. Jake would beat the shit out of Conor. It's very possible. It's very possible. You're talking about a 200-pound man fighting a guy that could barely hit 170 in Conor. Conor talking about running up at middleweight. Listen, I'm the biggest Conor supporter out there. But, I mean, come on. I care how good you are, man. A 200-pound person versus a guy that could barely hit 170. He's probably 200 plus. He's going to be cutting to hit 190. I've been next to Jorge too. I'm only 5'8", 185. He was not a large man. He's not a big guy. I've met him. He's not a big guy. Now listen, he's a powerful guy. He's a very good boxer. Yes, he is a good boxer. It's not like he just completely sucks. I'm just saying, man. If you had Jorge Masvidal stand next to Jake Paul and you're putting him like with bigger gloves, we're not with the 4-ounce gloves here. We're not with the bare knuckles in the streets. We're with 10-ounce gloves. I'm telling you. Did you ever watch UFC when 500-pound men lost guys where, yes, that was MMA. It's MMA. Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. You got to have a toothpick beat a fucking mongoloid monster. Yes. Speed kills. Jake would be hitting air. What if Jake just keeps tying him up? What if? If Jake keeps on tying up Jorge, and you saw Jorge can get tired. We've seen it. I know he was on the couch at one fight. He didn't have a full training camp, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, he's a human being. He can get tired out. If you got a guy that's, like, got that much weight on you, just laying on you over and over again, you're going to get exhausted. Edson versus Giga. That's coming up on Saturday night. We'll be reacting to that. Now, the Saturday night card, we're going to stay fully focused on the UFC and MMA. We're going to stay in that pocket on Saturday night, and then we're going to go complete Circus Sunday. Circus Sunday. Now, I might not be saying the popular opinion. I see 66% picking Jorge Masvidal, and I get it. But these people are right. The 34. They're correct. They're thinking with their heads. They know Jake Paul beats Masvidal, and there's a good chance he beats Tyron Woodley on Sunday. Now, keep in mind, I am picking Tyron. Once again, I'm saying it again. I am picking Tyron Woodley in this fight. But this might be the last time I ever even think about picking against Jake Paul. He might be just that good, that dominating of a fighter to take out all the MMA guys. Not quite yet the boxing guys. Let's see what else we got over here.
Wonderful, wonderful.
We got Kainoto coming in.
Why isn't anyone talking about the Belfort versus De La Hoya fight? Oscar is one of the greatest, but coke and sucking cocks hasn't aged him too well. I think Vitor is going to knock the dick right out of Oscar's ass. Vitor looking demonish again.
I am going to pick Vitor as well. I don't see how Oscar, I mean, he does. Oscar looks like he's out of his mind. There was an interview that I saw before we were going live of Oscar just shaking and shit. Like he's all twitching and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, man. He's not even hiding the sniffing. He's not even thinking about hiding that sniffing. I think he's more coked up than ever. But if it is TRT Vitor, like Savoki says in the chat, TRT Vitor's going to knock his coke head right into the fucking bleachers.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I cannot stand Jake, but he is building up his resume. YouTuber, famous basketballer, former MMA champ wrestler, next UFC ex-champ wrestler. If he bests him, he upping it fighting a legit striker. Others starting fought worse with losing records. Dude smart.
Yeah, think about where he's going. He's slowly leveling up. Slowly. And I have to say this. If he beats Tyron Woodley, Jorge Masvidal, it depends on what's going on with that contract situation. Or, let me put this out there. And thank you, some guy. Thank you, Kainoto. Some dude. Thank you guys for the donations. And feel free to donate to support the show. It helps us tremendously.
Wonderful, wonderful.
What about this? Say, for instance, Dana White wants nothing to do with Jake Paul. Dana White doesn't want anything. But if Jake Paul keeps winning and money keeps on flying in the direction of Showtime, well, why wouldn't Dana White get into bed again with them? Money's money. and say Jorge Masvidal is on the last fight of his contract. You can do a crossover. You can do a whole deal where they go over to boxing a la Conor McGregor. Money talks. You never know. And I know Jake's relationship with Dana is not good. In fact, Dana and Logan are fine, but Jake's no good. But listen, money heals things up quickly. It's very possible that Jorge Masvidal, if Jake Paul keeps winning, that might be the level up. The next level. Or maybe 2 fights away, for Jake Paul. But I think it might be inevitable. As long as Jake does his job and wins, it feels like it is completely inevitable that those stars will line up and these two will fight. I mean, he fits the description, Jorge. He's severely undersized compared to Jake, right? He's a slightly better, he's a better striker than Tyron, right? But he's old. How old is Jorge now? Was he like 36? Let me look up. Jorge Masvidal. I want to say like more of 36. He's been around. Jorge is, wow, hit the nail on the head. He's 36 years old. Yeah, so Gamebred is 36. Give him a couple years. The guy's pushing 40. That's perfect. That's just what Jake wants. I'm telling you, when Jake Paul fights Masvidal, he beats him. Or I'll say if. Because I'm assuming Tyron Woodley's going to win. But if Jake wins this fight, he's on a crash course to fighting this guy. It makes all the sense in the world. By the time these two line up, now you got a 40-year-old Jorge, a little more, mileage on him. It's nuts. It's a weird, bizarre world we live in these days. I feel like I need a cold shower. Just even let it enter my brain. All right, we're going to keep the poll up for 5 seconds. And then we're going to shut this poll down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're ending the poll. It looks like 66%. It looks like 64% went for Jorge Masvidal and 35% went Jake Paul out of the 91 who contributed to the poll. So there you go. People are saying Jorge. Hope you're right. Or do I? Because let's be honest, the more Jake Paul wins, yes, it's annoying and it kind of rubs the MMA community wrong, the wrong way. It rubs me the wrong way. There's a part of me that wants to see MMA shut up boxing all the time. Like Anderson Silva winning was great. But I don't feel it anymore. I don't feel it's MMA versus boxing here. Yes, it is boxing rules, but it's just a novelty fight. It's not legit MMA. MMA boxing was Anderson Silva versus Chavez Jr., right? That's what it was. Who the fuck is voting Jake Paul, says Jordan Williams? I would. I gave you my reasons. I don't have to rattle them off once again, but I would 100% do it. It was a apparition that passed by. I would 100% do it. Because think about it, like I said, I'll give you the cliff notes. Jorge Masvidal will be around 40 years old. Jorge Masvidal is a lot smaller. We saw Logan Paul go the distance with Floyd Mayweather. Why? Because of skill? No. Size. Pure size. Jorge could probably hit him with his best shot, and I understand he dropped Darren Till. And like I said before, Darren Till was a scrawny, no nutrients in his body, just trying to get himself at 170 Darren Till. Unhealthy Darren Till. I don't think Jorge knocks out Darren Till with a full belly. Just saying. In fact, it might go the other way around.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Kainoto.
I don't see Dana ever getting into bed with Jake or with this circus. It's going to be the biggest money maker, and the only thing Dana can do to keep up is to co-promote UFC versus Bellator. I think that'll kill the circus. Retards love the circus.
Yes, I'm one of those retards. Dana White, I'll just say this. You have a better shot at Dana White getting into bed with Showtime again than you do at Bellator. I'm going to put it out there. There is no way in any near future that Dana White's going to do business with Bellator. Welcome, Jesse. All right. So we have been talking about something. We did a poll. Now let me ask you, what do you think the poll would be if it was Jake Paul versus Jorge Masvidal? I forgot his name for a second. Jorge Masvidal. Right off the bat, who would you pick?
Jake Paul.
And I wasn't going to give you the 40-year-old Jorge. You would pick Jake.
Yeah.
That's two hosts. Now, why would you pick Jake?
Because the devil always picks Jake.
The devil?
Yeah. I'm the devil. So the devil always picks Jake.
So the devil always picks Jake. Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Well, there you go. She's a George hater. I don't know if I would say she's a George hater. Did you pick Jorge or Nate Diaz? I think you picked Jorge.
I can't remember who I picked.
I'm pretty sure you picked Jorge over Nate. So what do you think about that? The chat has picked Jorge Masvidal. And I get why. He is a more skilled human being when it comes to striking, yes. I don't disagree with that. But take everything into consideration, like I said before. And then give me your pick.
Wonderful, wonderful.
If Jake wins this one and Jorge isn't his next foe, who would you see him fighting? My bet for the end game for Jake Paul if he keeps getting wins, Mayweather or McGregor in my humble opinion.
Okay.
Or, fuck a damn title shot. Jake with a belt. Good or bad?
Could you imagine Jake Paul getting a title shot after this? Some crazy... I mean, they have 400 belts. They could just make something up, right? Yes. Who do you think would be... Now, I'm going to say this. I don't think that Jorge Masvidal would be the next fight because one thing, Jorge does have fights left in his contract. He just re-upped with the UFC before his last fight. So I wouldn't go with Jorge, the next opponent, but I don't think it's impossible in the future. I really don't think it's impossible. So who would be next for Jake Paul? You do have this Tommy Fury guy fighting on the same card. Tyson Fury's kid, right? What do you think about that? Tommy Fury. Is that his name, Tommy Fury?
I've never seen him fight, so I wouldn't be able to pick a winner.
Yeah, we'll learn more about him on Sunday. Who else can you throw in the mix? I mean, Floyd Mayweather, never say never with that guy. It didn't seem like he wanted to do that shit again with another big young kid. So, and if it happens, it's going to be exhibition. So I'm going to say no. Other than making a lot of money, I don't think that really goes with the Jake Paul plan here. Because Jake Paul has even given up some of his money for other guys to get paid on the card, correct? So I'm going to say it's not Mayweather. Henry Cejudo. What about Damian Maia was just released? You think Damian Maia versus Jake Paul, Jesse? A striking specimen in Damian Maia.
Excellent matchup.
Yeah. What would you think would be next for Jake?
Nobody. Jake is going to get hit by a car.
Dylan Dennis in the chat. Timothy Umana. Well, now we're talking. Here's the reason why I wouldn't say Dylan. As much as it makes sense. I got one for you, actually. I got one for you in my head. But I'll explain this. It makes sense. Dylan Dennis will never fight anyone ever again. I have a feeling that guy, I don't know, he's going to be a professional Twitter troll. I don't think he'll ever fight again. I don't know. I can't see him taking any fights unless it's a nobody in Bellator or some shit like that. Nate Diaz. Nick Diaz. One of those guys will be next. Get ready. Nate Diaz or Nick Diaz, because Nate already entertained it. Let me look over at the Twitters. Now, here's Jorge's statement. Jess, what do you think about this? Check this out again.
I guess this means you'll stop hitting me up now on social media to hang out the train. All I see is Masvidal and Paul agreeing during that training video that they would do this a couple months down the road.
What do you mean?
Like, this is set up. They don't actually have beef.
Yeah, I think Jorge would fight him, and they know they would make a lot of money.
They probably, during that training video a couple months ago, said, hey, you know what would be cool? If you and I went back and forth online, got everyone hyped up, and pitched a fight for ourselves. They probably both agreed to it, and now they're talking shit and living up to that agreement.
Yeah, I think they're both looking to leave that door open, because if it presents itself, they both take it. Nate Diaz or Nick Diaz would be the next fight for Jake Paul. And that would be a level up, because with celebrity power, it'd be a level up. And Nate Diaz, like, even at welterweight, Nate Diaz is a 155er. Let's be honest. But he likes fighting at 170, and now he has a chance to fight at like almost 190. Right? Didn't he say he wants to fight at middleweight, Nate? So I think that's next. I think that would be next. All right. Hold on one second here. Let's see. Eduardo Diaz has just subscribed to the channel. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Thank you for hanging with the boys.
Hanging with the boys.
Look at old Jake's Twitter. Now, did you drop that story on the Mma-Holes website?
The Masvidal Paul story I dropped.
Yeah,
yes.
okay. We're going to go into that next. Let me look on Twitter real quick and see if Mr. Hairline said anything here. Jake. Paul. Okay. Yep. Yep. Okay. So, did you notice that this thing sparked up? Hold on a second. I'll show it in a second. Okay, I'm not going to show that. That's stupid. Okay, you ready? So, Jake Paul responded to Jorge Masvidal. You ready? Here you go, boys and girls. The saga continues. Okay, what do we got here, Jess?
You played yourself. It's super necessary. You get your boss Dana to give you permission to get in the ring with me, since you supposed to be nice with your hands.
Hopefully Daddy Dana lets me fight Jake now. Welp, what did I tell you, boys and girls? What did I tell you? Which leads me to believe Jake Paul and Jorge Masvidal is clearly watching our show, because this all transpired after we scheduled our stream and threw it on Twitter. So thank you, Jake and Jorge, for responding to us. Now, next thing you need you to do is retweet our fucking post. Thank you. But yeah, so listen. Always looking for the next fight, being a good businessman, setting up the next one and the next one and the next one. Now, this cannot possibly come together unless Dana lets it happen. It can't come together. And listen, if Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul makes mega numbers, then Dana is probably going to say, all right, give me a call. Let's talk. If not, you'll see a Nate or a Nick. Is this super necessary? Is this the fight that should happen if Jake Paul defeats Tyron Woodley? Jess, what do you say?
Yes.
Okay, she's going with yes. She's like, Daddy Dana, let's go. Chat room, what do you say?
He's got money, says Frumshis. Greg Lilu says the devil. El Monka says Dana loves that he has that power. Frumshis says hell, just keep paying paying guys to dive. Probably BS to build up a fight. Who knows? I missed the rest. Sorry, Brewster. Moss, can we watch more of the milk crate challenges like last night? Says
yes.
Gavin. Paul will go undefeated, says Frumshis. William says fuck all these MMA fighters. Let Paul fight Ryad, whatever that is. He's a very decent pro boxing cruiserweight from Germany. It's okay for you.
I mean, the problem is he's a nobody, right? I mean, I don't know. Nobody over here. Is he going to move? Maybe in Germany he'll move the needle, but in the States, I don't think anyone would give a fuck, right? So, I mean, would I like to see Jake Paul fight an actual real boxer? Yeah. I think all of us would, right? Leave the MMA guys alone. The MMA guys do MMA. You're doing boxing. Fight boxers. If you're going to stack your pro resume, if you're going to pad it up, shouldn't it be against actual boxers? Like, doesn't that make sense? He's a businessman. Jake Paul's not really a boxer. He's not a real boxer, but he's a decent boxer. And he figures, let's pick fights against guys that don't strictly train in that aspect. All right, here we go. Here's the story. What is this, Jake Paul?
Jake Paul says Tyron Woodley cannot cope with the natural power and admits he hasn't been hit in his pro boxing career.
Okay. So hasn't been hit in his pro boxing career. Let's see what Jake Paul has to say. And he always has something to say here. Tommy Fury is a boxer reality personality. He is only 4-0. Baby cries. Kris, hey, come on. I'm down. Show, hey, what the fuck? I don't know what the hell. What does that mean? What's your guys' thoughts on Giga fight? We're going to talk about that later on because I can't really do the whole 2 hours on this, to be honest. So we'll get our thoughts on that. But I think that's going to be incredibly competitive. I do. I like that matchup a lot. Giga's going up, and Barboza's hit his stride at the lower weight class. So, yeah. Jake Paul wasn't got punched to jaw or head. All his circus fights, shit. Betting Jake hits the mate. What the? Is that mate good night? I think you're a little tired there, Jamie Schwint, but thank you. Was that Jamie? No, I wasn't Jamie. Yeah, it was Jamie. Sounds like you're a little tired there, and have a good night. Money over everything. Money over losses. Frumptious Snowman, welcome back into the chat. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Good to see you over there. So we're going to get into this Jake Paul story in a second. Just getting some comments from the chat. Good evening, MMA-Holes. Good evening, Jacob Wanamaker. These motherfuckers are taking dives. You know what? I didn't think Ben did, and I don't think Tyron will, but it's not impossible. I got to see it first. But I'm going to go with no.
According to Sky Sports' Richard DeMerrill and Andy Scott, Jake Paul has warned former UFC champion Tyron Woodley about his natural power and admits he hasn't been hit during his professional boxing career. The YouTuber faces Woodley in his fourth pro bout this Sunday, with Paul promising to add another knockout to his unbeaten record. Paul needed only a round to stop Ben Askren and another UFC fighter, and the social media star believes opponents cannot cope with his concussive punches. He says, quote, "I'm just built different. I have something inside me that I think is just a natural-born fighter with natural power. You can teach a lot of things, but you can't teach speed and you can't teach power. I think that's why my fights have ended so early. When those 10-ounce Grant gloves come on, I just grip them back, and the knuckles are at the front of the gloves. There's no way these people's heads can deal with this damage." Woodley previously held the UFC's welterweight belt, retaining the title on 4 occasions, but Paul has vowed to shatter his opponent's reputation with a swift knockout. He said, "Honestly, after this camp, I said 3 rounds, and now I'm thinking max 2. But to be honest, something in my heart tells me that it's going to be another round fight. As crazy as that sounds, I think it's going to be a very short night for Tyron." Paul settled his rivalry with fellow YouTuber Eason Gibb with a first-round knockout, while he inflicted another crushing stoppage on former NBA basketball player Nate Robinson.
Okay, so Jake Paul over here, natural power. So Jake Paul is pretty confident going into this fucking fight. Jake Paul is pretty confident in getting the job done, and he doesn't think Masvidal will be a problem. None of these guys would be a problem, because when they get into the ring with him, he's the problem. He's the problem child. So Jake Paul, not surprisingly confident. Let's see what the chat says about this. Colby said after he beats Usman, he's going to beat Izzy. Yeah, it's insane. Ben was coming off of his replacement surgery. I guarantee I would KO Ben also. This is no BS. Ben has 0 boxing skills. Yeah, I mean, that's why I picked Jake. I didn't even think it was close. Is Jake Paul smashing gear? I don't know. Even Ellie knows Jake is #1 bullshit.
This is #1 bullshit.
Paul sleeps everyone, even some boxers. Now that I think about it, he brings a big payday. They just take a dive. So Frumptious is really going with this take a dive thing. This is how I look at some of the dive stuff. If you keep picking against someone and then the person that you pick keeps losing, you got to go with the dive mentality, because that's the only way you can save face, right? Ben Askren didn't dive. Ben Askren is not a boxer. He came in like a fucking dad bod, out of shape, hit the scale looking like a whale. Ben Askren had no business being in there. He collected a check, yes, but I believe Ben actually thought he was going to just go in there and beat him up, and that's just not what happened. Oh, smashing gear equals taking roids. I never heard that term for taking roids. Smashing gear. So you're saying Jake Paul is smashing gear. That's what Faraz said. Faraz went with that theory. I don't know. Jake Paul kind of, like, Logan looks like he's on the juice. Jake Paul looking a little like, this picture, actually, no, this is not the picture, but any picture besides the one from our last thumbnail, he kind of looking a little melted. He don't really, to me, have a roid body, but then again, I don't know what a roid body looks like. I don't really see a lot of roided people too much in my life. Woodley lost some money on his rap album. Fake Paul would have a fight. Wait, Fake Paul would never fight a real fighter. Woodley retires, says James. We got gold caps coming in. Say, They are both unlikable characters, so I don't care who wins. From a betting perspective, I'd say you have to take Tyron. So there you go. I'm picking Tyron. But like I said before, I am not confident. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Make sure you smash the like button. We have 85 likes and 196 people watching. So everyone hit the like button. If you're on Twitter, retweet our tweet and help us out. It's at the Mma-Holes, and that's wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Also, I want to address this before we continue on the show. We dropped something on our community section over here. And a lot of people were complaining about, we noticed it like on our replays, that the comments were really low. So we're like, what the hell's going on? Then people are sliding into the DMs, dropping in our chat saying, hey, YouTube is not letting us comment on your videos. Well, there's a reason for it now. So we did an apology on the community section over there. Here is, well, that's a Sleepy Masvidal. Let's see. Wait, where did we put it? Here we go. I think it was to this guy over here. We appreciate your help, man. We appreciate the help. But here we go. Yeah, so basically it says comments in the held for review tab that are potentially more hurtful than others will now be filtered into a new section. So they had a filter before, not good enough, double filter time. You can find these comments by clicking show hidden comments, right? So we did that, and sure enough, a bunch of comments were in this special container. And when I say a bunch, it was like Jesse, it took forever for her to unlock all these freaking comments. It was nuts. People time-stamping the video. So keep on time-stamping and doing all that stuff. We will unlock the comments. But yeah, it's crazy. Let's see. It says, note that this filter may not always show and it can't be turned off. No! We live in a world now where they give us the ability to moderate and filter stuff. They actually give their own filter as well. But now they have a double filter that we have to navigate through. It's nuts. It is crazy. Listen, YouTube has been a platform that helped us grow tremendously. We wouldn't have 50,000 subscribers on other platforms over there, and then you got this knucklehead coming in. Come on, what are you doing, man? You got to say ginger. Like you can't follow rules. But yeah, censorship is just it's just to the point where, and I mean, I guess you got there we go. Put some different letters in it. They finished it. Well, there you go. I'm trying to say that censorship is fucking us up. And then we're just dropping the M-word in the chat. So, I mean, maybe they should censor everyone. I don't know. What do you want me to do? Yeah, it's crazy, man. And Kainoto, I saw your comments, and we're not going to fucking... It's like people complain about censorship and then start getting worse with the comments. And then we can't authorize those comments because then there's going to be a bigger sponsor spotlight on us. And it's just like... We're in a lose-lose situation no matter what we do. But regardless of the fact, it's just ridiculous. It is. Like, we should have a say what could be under a chat and not under a chat. And if someone has a problem with it, you could report each other in the comments and move on. It's nuts, man. It really is nuts. So that's the new filter with YouTube. Exciting stuff. If you're just jumping in, we were talking about Jake Paul versus Jorge Masvidal, which as the night progresses and Twitter unfolds, we are noticing that there's a good chance this fight's going to happen. But first, Jake has to take care of business on Sunday night. If he doesn't beat Tyron Woodley, I would imagine an immediate rematch would be in effect. And that might actually be better for Jake Paul because you get to fight Tyron again. And if you beat him in the second time, you don't necessarily have to go a trilogy. Or you can go a trilogy with Tyron, and then by the time you're done with that, Jorge's done with his contract, and he can box. Now you're picking Woodley, right? You said you're picking Woodley?
Yep.
Okay, you're picking Woodley in this one. Do you think an immediate rematch will be in effect, or will Jake just say, I'm going to go another route?
No, I don't know. I think it depends on how the first fight goes.
Okay. All right. Let me know in the chat, and then we're going to move on. We're going to get into the other topics tonight. Let me know your final thoughts on Woodley versus Jake, or down the road if Jake Paul fights Jorge Masvidal. Let's get it out of your systems.
Pale Monkey says, rest in peace, no snowflakes. El Mocha says she's got a great head of hair. Yes, she does. Ear says, there's no chance of a fight happening. That's the only reason Jake is talking shit. Frumsha says, I'm made of millions of snowflakes. Who she look like, says Mark Wallace. HRUJBH, I'm good. James, how are you? I believe Woodley buys a car. If Woodley KOs Jake, Jake won't want a rematch, says LX. Rematch for sure. Sorry, but Jake beats Jorge, says it's cynics. Drunk Savage says enough. We'll find out on Sunday.
Okay, let's move on. I had enough as well. Let's go. Smash the like button. You have Michael Chandler in the news, and Michael Chandler, who will be fighting a man named Justin Gaethje November 6th, Madison Square Garden, co-main event of the evening. This one guaranteed banger of a fight. Absolute banger of the fight. So I'm very much so looking forward to this thing over here. And let's get to the story. Noise.
According to SB Nation's Jesse Holland, UFC 268, despite hardline stance on COVID vaccination, Michael Chandler signed, sealed, and delivered for November 6th. Outspoken lightweight contender Michael Chandler insists he's fighting at the upcoming UFC 268 pay-per-view on November 6th at Madison Square Garden in New York City, where Iron is expected to throw down opposite fellow 155-pound action fighter Justin Gaethje. That might come as a surprise in light of recent comments Chandler made about refusing COVID-19 vaccine, but language in the Empire State's Emergency Executive Order 225 requiring proof of vaccination for all indoor activities may provide the necessary wiggle room. Exemptions include a non-residential professional athlete sports team who enters a covered premises as part of their regular employment of purposes of competing, and a non-resident individual accompanying a performing artist or professional athlete or sports team into a covered premises as part of their regular employment, so long as the performing artist or professional athlete or sports team are performing the competing in the covered premises.
Okay. So Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje, who you have in the chat, as we are getting ready to, November 6th should be a banger. October, you got 2 pay-per-views. You got Glover and Jan Blachowicz fighting for that light heavyweight strap. So let me know in the chat, what do you think of Chandler Gaethje?
Irregardless says, yes, show your papers while screaming about fascism. Greg says Woodley is going to use the funds to fund his new album, Saltpeter. Frumsha says, I'm waiting for the final vaccine. Brewster says, Chandler is a dumbass. Famous people get away with everything, says Drunk. Taco says, Chandler. Frumsha says, I like the final Xbox version. I ain't about to go through everyone. Justin says, James Hinkle. Drunk says, Chandler. Ethan says, fascist. The world needs anarchism more than ever. Rise up, Emma Goldman.
Okay. What?
I don't fucking know.
Who the fuck is Emma Goldman? Okay, I see a lot of vax conversation in chat, so let's segue. I know you love talking about the vax, the Rona, the whole that fun stuff. So let's go there. Today, we found out through Diego Sanchez that Palomino, the champion, Bare Knuckle FC, just got a big win. Palomino is a professional athlete at 40 years of age, and people are probably going to say, well, he's 40, he's old. But Palomino battling COVID right now, and it fucking hit him hard. He's in the hospital on a ventilator. And these are words straight from the champ here. Let me know if you guys seen this already, but we're going to play this right now.
Hey, guys. First of all, I want to thank you all of you guys that wish me all the beautiful messages after my engagement, and I was never able to answer anybody, which I normally do. Well, you know why. The real reason for this video is to inform you guys from my own experiences. I spent the last 5 years of my life without getting sick, but simply taking care of my body and my immune system. After my engagement, during my engagement, I did celebrating, did a lot of drinking, and I let my immune system drop. So Delta caught me slipping. That's exactly what happened. My 5-year streak was broken.
So we got Uncle Boss in the chat making jokes about him talking slow. I guess not realizing that he's on a fucking ventilator, you nut. What the? He's on a ventilator. And he's got oxygen going into his body. Put a filter on Boss immediately.
He's not on a ventilator.
Yeah, he's getting oxygen.
He's on oxygen.
Yeah.
He's not on a ventilator.
Doesn't matter. He's getting oxygen in his fucking body.
The ventilator goes down your throat.
That's all right.
It doesn't matter.
He had the ventilator. It's all right. He's fine now. He's got the oxygen. But he's got oxygen going in his fucking throat. Okay? Going into his lungs. Speak up, Palomino. I am bored. And no, he was not vaxxed. To the people asking in the chat.
Really bad. But just want to let you guys know this thing is very serious. I was completely against the vaccine, except for elders and kids that are, young and still have weak immune systems. That I was never against. I always encouraged the elders to get the vaccine. My mom, for example, family members, friends. I always agreed that they should always take it, take the vaccine. Now I encourage you all to take it. You got the Pfizer, FDA approved. As soon as I'm out of here, my entire family in my home, my fiance, my son, and I, we will be taking it. At least it'll keep you from dying. I spent $12 days without eating, barely being able to drink anything, and what I drank, I pooped out.
He pooped out what he drank. This is Louis Palomino, if you just jumping in, who he's been pretty messed up for a little while here because of the Rona. Now, it's so weird. This virus is so banged out because I have a friend that got it. He's going through chemotherapy right now, and it was literally like a head cold. It was like nothing. Him and his wife, it was like absolutely nothing. I know a couple of people, and then I have another friend that died from it. So it's like, I don't know, you get this freaking thing. Some people it hits worse than others. It is a little alarming, though, that this guy, who notoriously is in a good shape, he's an athlete. He just fought recently, so the guy's in fairly good shape. He had a one drinking night, and all of a sudden he gets the Rona. I don't know how I'm buying that, but it affected him in this way. The dude could barely spit out a word. He's in bad fucking shape over here. What do you take from this, Jess?
Absolutely fucking nothing.
Absolutely nothing, because you're the devil. All right, let's get back into Palomino.
Turns out 7 days of inflammation of the pancreas, high fevers, shivers, massive, endless headaches. This thing nearly got me. Feel better today. Finally recovering on day 14.
On the Starship Enterprise. There is Louis Palomino. Now, it's good that he is feeling better. So that's a good sign over here. Listen, all I care about, I don't give a shit what you do. You vax, you don't vax. Although every time I see shit like this, I'm like, just what the fuck's wrong with everybody? But it doesn't matter, right? Your body, your choice. And I'm still down with that. I'm still down with the situation. All I ask from everyone in the chat is be fucking careful and, I don't know, just, make sure you stay away from all this crazy stuff. Because this is nuts, man. When I saw Palomino was in this shape, I'm like, what the fuck? I thought it was fat people, diabetics, old people. you know? And now we got freaking Palomino here with tubes shoved up his nose. It's nuts. It's freaking crazy. There's a part of me that wants to go crazy about this and start fucking lecturing everyone. I'm not going to do it quite yet. But I think this video should say enough. I think eventually, you know, people got to start smartening up after a while, you know? So use your heads. That's all I'm going to say. Use your fucking heads. And I hope Palomino gets better soon. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So there's Luis Palomino. You want more? We'll give you more.
Day 15. I fought it for 12 days at home.
Day 16. Fuck the vaccine. That'd be hilarious if he makes a video the next day. He's like, I changed my mind. I'm better now. Fuck the vaccine.
And I just wasn't getting any better. So my fiance forced me to come here. And it was the best thing she could have done for me.
I wonder, did her fiance get the Rona? Or what the hell happened? How the hell did she not get it?
Don't play with this stuff, guys.
Don't play with this stuff, guys. All right. Well, listen. Do what you want to do, friends. Do what you want to do. All right. So that's Palomino with the Rona. So hopefully he gets better soon. No matter what, if you pray, if you don't pray, thoughts and prayers or whatever to the Palomino family, and hopefully they get through this quickly and move on. And we can see him back in the bare knuckle cage where he belongs, beating some ass, not laying in hospital beds. All right. What other stories do we have here? Let's get back into the fun stuff. As we, you know, you want to bring up the vax, I'll throw that in your face. Here we go. Khabib being just not fun anymore. Did you see what this guy Fukin said? He said, ring girls, the most useless people in martial arts. Oh, Khabib. Oh, Khabib. But if they had towels over the head, they would be very useful, right? Please. They must be half naked, but with towel over face. I don't know, but let's see what Khabib has to say about this. Like, I mean, come on, Khabib. They're useless. I mean, come on. There are people out there that want to see half-naked people run around with fucking numbers in their hands. Jesus Christ. Fucking Khabib. Please, cover up tits, put towel on face. Useless. All right, let's see what the story is over here as Jesse's pulling it up quickly. Ring girls do a better job than the judges. I can agree with that. Khabib is that cranky old man now. Yeah, what happened to Khabib? He was fun loving. You see him like horsing around with DC in the trainings videos, and now he's like the fun police. I'm curious what the ring girls think about this. Like, what a fucked up comment to make. These people are trying to make a living. I wonder what Khabib thinks about OnlyFans. If he thinks this about ring girls, like what the fuck does he think about OnlyFans? No Name agrees with him. You would. You would. Where's the Khabib's fans out there? I want to know what you think about this. I'm curious. As we're just waiting on the baby's getting a little settled in over here, so we'll wait on Jesse to get in. Anyone surprised Khabib doesn't want ring girls? Okay. Alrighty. Jess, what do you think? Like initial thoughts on this? That's your boy.
I don't know. I don't really care what other people's opinions are, honestly, because I'm a horrible person.
I'm pretty sure Khabib wouldn't care about you either, to be fair. So, all right, let's get this. So you got something in common. All right. Okay.
So, according to MMA junkie Khabib Nurmagomedov says ring girls are the most useless people in martial arts. The MMA junkie staff wrote, Khabib doesn't see a need to have ring girls in his promotion. Nurmagomedov, who recently bought Russian MMA promotion Guerrilla Fighting Championship, won't have ring girls in his newly branded Eagle Fighting Championship. The former UFC lightweight champion deems ring girls unnecessary, and even if you disagree with him, Nurmagomedov says he's entitled to his own opinion. He says, look, I don't want to offend anyone. Ring girls are the most... Oh. Hold on. I just lost my...
Damn T-Mobile. Good old T-Mobile kicking in. As Jesse's reading off the phone because the baby stole the prompter.
He says, look, I don't want to offend anyone. Ring girls are the most useless people in martial arts. He said this at a Moscow press conference. What is their function? I have a question. You can show that it is the second round on the screen. I realize that it is a history behind ring card girls. History knows many mistakes. We read history and avoid mistakes of the past and the future. If we look in the history, it says they are useless. That is my personal opinion. Dana White maybe likes it. Maybe you do too. But my name is not Dana. My name is Khabib. Nurmagomedov went on to use an example of how uncomfortable he'd be if he attended an event with his father who died in 2020 and ringos were present, citing differences in his cultural values. He says, I sit with my father at an event. Every person has his own preference, the culture, and values. I come to fight night and sit with my father. These ring card girls are passing by and showing people that it is the second round, but no one looks at the round number. I feel uncomfortable with my father. I am not against it. If you want, you can do it, but don't impose it to me. Do it aside. There are the designated places for it. I think we must not mix all of it.
How about this, Habib? Instead of all the people looking at the girl's ass, why don't you not look at her ass? Why don't we do that, Habib? Maybe you and your pop should not look at her ass. Come on, like, what the hell is going on with this man? What is going on with Habib? What is he saying over here? This is like, this is number one bullshit.
This is number one bullshit.
What the fuck? I said, what flew up? What, an eagle fly up Habib's ass? Like what? Like what? Just don't look. Like what the hell's the problem? Goddamn fun police over here. This is nuts. You know what, Habib? I don't like the fact that you fucking drape a towel over your wife's face at the wedding. But you don't see me running around and complaining about that. I don't think that's right. But we would get lit on fire for saying something like that, right? It's a terrible thing to say. Maybe not. Let these girls make a living. Their tits aren't hanging out. Their fucking ass cheeks may be hanging out of their little pants, but you're not seeing asshole. This is crazy. This is fucking crazy stuff. Makes me like Connor even more. He likes ring girls. Let's see what the chat says about this. This is nuts. The devil women are tempting him. But that's the thing. Like, if you don't like it, don't watch. It's that simple. He's a mad backwards cunt. Hamdullah then gets 15 guys to slap Artem. We need a break from the blood and guts and nuts. I mean, yeah. Right? It does break it up. You know, sometimes girls will get a little scantily clad, right? Is that the terminology? Just prancing around over there. I get it, but still, I mean, they've been doing this for years. Been doing it in boxing. They've done it in UFC. So you mean let's get rid of cheerleaders? I've seen cheerleaders dress like, you know, a little tight outfit and start flipping around. Please stop cheerleading. Like, what the fuck? What's going on? So what do you want the girls to do? They're pretty girls. Don't use what works for them to get paid. Their moneymaker is their boobs and ass. Why take that away? If your moneymaker is to wrestle, what if women were saying, you know what? It's disgusting. You're humping on another man. Maybe I don't want to see that homosexual activity in a cage, Habib. Maybe you should cut it out with that homosexual stuff. I feel uncomfortable watching that. If you feel uncomfortable watching ring girls trot around the cage, I'll feel uncomfortable with you grinding another man. Goes against what I believe. like, come on. What the fuck we do? Like, that sounds stupid, right? So do you, Habib. You sound fucking stupid.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Ali Abdelaziz.
I don't think Palomino is sick. I think he's faking it. He's scared to fight. Don't be scared, homie.
Nick Diaz. How dare you, Nick Diaz? How dare you, Nick Diaz? Listen, I have nothing.
Super chat.
Undefeated Danny.
Khabib tripping Brittany Palmer can get it Amy Day.
But it is silly. Like it's a silly thing to say. Well, like what are we doing? Habib, you're trying to cancel ring girls? Like what are you doing? Could you imagine Habib and Hooters trying to order at Hooters? He'd have the fucking menu like this. I would like the chicken wings and I would like the... Please, come back in a second. Must take care of something. Like what? Ladies and gentlemen, that was Habib at Hooters. Thank you. Thank you. Where's my Habib fans in the chat? Now listen, Habib as a 155 pound champion, the best, right? The best out there. The best ever. No one beats him. The guy is a savage. Pound for pound greatest. No, I'm not quite there yet. I still got John Jones. But Khabib at 155, the GOAT. Khabib, buddy cop movie with Daniel Cormier. I'm all in. Like, Khabib's a funny guy when he's hanging out with the boys. He was funny on the lead-ups to fights. Very likable guy, Khabib. I'm not trying to say, hey, I'm all hating on Khabib, because I know what's going to happen. In the comment section, Muslim power is going to come in and say, oh my God, you're this, you're that, you're anti-religion. No, I actually like Khabib Nurmagomedov. I like the guy. I liked watching him fight. I always got amped for a Khabib fight, okay? But I'm going to make tasteless jokes, because if you're going to say we must stop ring girls now because of what if my father sees that? It's like, your father saw it. That's how you're here, Khabib. Your mom was like round number 1, and your dad was like, all right, fight. And there was little Khabib shooting in her pussy. Come on, Khabib. Get with the program. Anyway, back to the chat. We'll move on. $155 cut from 200. Yeah, almost 200. But afraid to fight at 170. Stop, ring girls. Nobody likes Khabib. Simp for the ring girls. Ring thoughts, Christopher. Kevin, do you not like ring girls? Kevin, are you on that boat too? I must stick together with my wrestlers, my crotch sniffers. I'm right now. Right, and you, the devil, is why the world is how it is. That's right, Naru. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Would you ever think that Khabib would jump on cancel culture? He would probably be the last person. A man who fucking went feet first into a man's head after a fight, incited a riot, and said on Mike Tyson's podcast, a guy that said if Herb Dean wasn't there, what would you think would happen? I don't know, Khabib. Tell me what would happen. Like, that's... How did Henry Cejudo and I was going to say Michael Jordan and Mike Tyson miss that opportunity? Like, if Khabib said to me, if Herb Dean wasn't there, what you think would happen? I would be like, tell me, Khabib. What would happen? Get ready for that big headline. Khabib says he murders Conor. Like, really? Like, think about it. So he's insinuating he's going to fucking murder somebody, but get those ring girls out of the cage. Terrible. It's hypocritical, right? If you were fucking goody two-shoes and you ran around and said nothing wrong and did nothing wrong, then I would say, go for it, Khabib. Have at it. Be a snowflake and cancel him. But you're not. So I'm about to cancel Khabib. Khabib, you're canceled. That's it. Stop doing interviews and press conferences and get back to your family. When was the last time you were with your family, for God's sake? You're getting trotted around like a fucking show dog. Go hang out with your fucking family. Stop sticking your foot in your mouth. Aren't you playing soccer or something? What's going on? If you talk shit, you get beat up. His wife has to hide her face. That is all you have to know. It's true Khabib would kill him. Yeah, he probably would have. That would be tough to defend, right? That'd be tough if Khabib actually murdered Conor in the cage. I think a lot of people would have liked that, right? Khabib would have blew him up like the Olympics. Is the Olympics still on? I don't even know if it's over now, right? I would think. Khabib would get murked talking shit up in Harlem. So I thought the vaccine protects you. Are you saying it doesn't? Says irregardless. We did the vaccine already. We had Palomino on. The guy's bedridden in a hospital because of COVID. Very serious situation, a complete athlete, and he didn't get vaxxed. Those are what happened there, and take from what you will. Khabib talks a lot when he's surrounded by 15 guys. Okay, now I see you rooting ring girls because you had one on your laps. Is super. What the fuck does that even? What? What the fuck does that even mean? What does that mean? Because I had one on my lap. Okay, how do you know Khabib has sex with his wife? Well, he has children, right? That's his immaculate conception. I thought Khabib's dad died from rare cancer when he visited Putin. I don't know. I heard COVID complications, but I have, who knows how he passed. And it is sad that his father passed. His father seemed like a good guy. But thankfully, he doesn't have to see any more ring girls. He grows in numbers, but by himself, he hides behind women. Okay, there we go. We're going to end on that note. All right, so Khabib Nurmagomedov, if you watch the replay, let me know in the comment section what you think. And come on, man. Khabib, stop it. The fuck we doing, man?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes, Chris. I'm afraid of pussy. Don't run it in. It's just, I've never seen one in real life. And these ring girls add nothing to this already entertaining sport. We know the damn round. Now leave Khabib alone. With his giant daggy hog, I wanna suck it so bad.
That was Kevin from Chicago. All right. You know what? I will respect your opinion, and I will let it be. In fact, this is a good time to segue into a commercial break. We're going to play these words from our sponsors. We'll be right back. We got a bunch more news to get to. We're going to go a little late tonight because we started late, so we got about probably 30 more minutes to go over here, so we're going to keep the party going. Stand by, hit the like button in the meantime, and check out our wonderful, wonderful deals for the people over there. We love each and every one of you. We'll see you on the other side after these words. All right, let's take it into overtime. In overdrive, I should say. Hit the fucking like button. Let's go, people. Wednesday night. We got a lot of fights to get to this weekend. And we're going to cover everything.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah. All right. All right. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for hitting the likes. Thank you to the donations in the chat. All wonderful, wonderful people. And a big shout out to our sponsors. Links are in the description down below. Get your promos. And Ballsy is almost over that promotion. Go check it out down below if you want that 15% off. Head Rush, 20% off their swag. And MysticRootsCBD.com as well. MysticRootsCBD.com. In the description, we have ESPN Plus. Also, we have Fight TV if you're looking to actually pay for this. Well, if you're going to pay, I'm not saying to, but if you're going to, use our Fight TV link in the description. That helps us out as well. Ooh, I think I'm allergic. I think I'm allergic to this microphone. All right, let's see what other stories we got over here. Dustin Poirier unfazed by Conor McGregor's latest attacks. Latest attacks. Dustin Poirier they were both attacking each other with Dustin Poirier and Conor posting shit. I'm not gonna. Okay, enough. These guys want to fight each other again. They want the fourth fight. Both guys want it. So keep trying to make that money. Oliveira versus Nico Price. Alex Oliveira versus Nico Price booked for UFC event in October. So how about that? Cowboy Oliveira versus Nico Price. That's pretty wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Who do you think gets the dub in that fight? It's a tough one. Ariel loves me. Ariel does love me. He's my best friend. Alistair Overeem uses homophobic language in rant on CM Punk, Brock Lesnar. Yes, we did speak about this on an earlier stream. Alistair Overeem and his comments saying basically what the WWE is gay or something. Let me see exactly what it was. Let's see. Appearance Monday, the MMA Hour. I'm trying to get through this whole bullshit. What did he say? Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, huge fans of those guys. Honky Tonk Man, great, funny. Andre the Giant, I stopped watching after that, so I'm not watching since 92, 93, 94. Let's see. And just recently I started looking again on YouTube, and oh my God, this stuff is lame. It's just lame. What these guys are doing, it's fake. It's lame. It's stupid. It's gay. It doesn't make any sense. Oh my God. He said it's stupid. It's gay. It's gay. All right. Do we got to we're getting rid of ring girls. Do we have to get rid of Alistair Overeem as well? That was on purpose, by the way. Alistair Overeem. Are we going to have to cancel him? Khabib's hands canceling ring girls. Alistair Overeem said the word gay. And now it's an article. He's right, you know. I'm not saying I disagree or agree. Might agree a little bit. But, I mean, come on. Now, apparently you're not supposed to say that in a way that is not nice. Like, you're not supposed to use it in a derogatory way, right? Say, oh, that's gay. This is, you know, you're not supposed to do that these days. That's wrong. But my goodness. Come on. Did he issue a statement to apologize about this? I mean, okay, so he said that. Who cares? Who cares? Like, Izzy made a comment about 9/11. Insensitive. People died. You know, he apologized about that. But I guess I can kind of understand. It's 9/11. I mean, people died. Did the gays die for their rights? I mean, I don't know. Or is it gay to get upset about someone saying something's gay? I don't know. I'm just confused. There's so many rules these days. We spoke about YouTube censoring the comment section and stopping people from saying things, and we have to dive in there and let you guys free, and like all this crap's going on. Habib stopping the ring girls all over and saying things are gay, and I don't have much hope for the world these days. Listen, I mean, I don't know. Like if someone said, I don't know, like ginger in a bad way, I'm not going to fucking go crazy over it. I don't know if that's the same thing. I'm trying to think. Or honky or cracker or I don't care. Like I got a big head or I don't know. Just say whatever the fuck you want. I don't think it's worth like making such a big deal over. But yeah, here we go. MMA Fighting puts the article up. And it's kind of wild. And this is kind of messed up. Because Overeem showed up on Ariel's show, which is on MMA Fighting's YouTube channel, right? And then MMA Fighting does him dirty. Like, come on, MMA Fighting. What are you doing? They're just trying to get this. It's like they're just protecting Ariel. So it shows that Ariel doesn't stand for this. I guess that's what they're doing there, right? But isn't that a messed up way to go about things? Like you have him on as a guest. If he says something wrong, just kind of look past it. But no, MMA Fighting just capitalizes off of it. It's kind of messed up. If I was over it, I'd be like, yeah, F you guys. I'm not doing your freaking show anymore. Good old Vox. Stabbing their guests in the back. You know, trying to leave their own guest out to hang to dry. Gingers are gay. Is that racist? Yes, it's incredibly racist. Ariel's a huge pro wrestling fan. Maybe that's why? Yeah, maybe Ariel's like, you know what? I'm taking quite offense to that because wrestling is great. Maybe Ariel doesn't really like the gays. I don't know. Gay people don't care. While cat lady liberals, yeah, you know what? I don't think gay people are really watching this. How many gay people do you think were watching the MMA Hour and like, oh my God? What did Uberin say? Oh my. Carl, could you believe what he said? Tell me about it, Johnny. I can't I thought Ariel was one of our guys. I don't know, Carl. I don't know what to do. I mean, I watch the MMA Hour all the time. What am I to do? He said wrestling was gay. Who should I call to complain about this? I don't know, but come over here and suck my dick. Thank you. All right, so that's the Overeem story. Without Jesse, we're going to have to improvise a little bit. All right, we got strawweight contenders meet in October, and we got Mackenzie Dern. Oh, this girl is the bitch that fights at HELWANI on J-Check. Like Joanna, I like this girl. Oh, Mackenzie. That picture, they got to give her a new picture. Come on with this one. God, do the girl a little favor here. Why you got to make her look like Jar Jar Binks? Jesus. Switch up the picture, guys. What are we doing? Put some makeup on the poor girl. Like, Jesus. Why would you do her like that? She doesn't look this bad in real life. You gotta take this picture? Misa, Yusa, take picture. Misa, take picture. Didn't they cancel Jar Jar? What the fuck are they bringing him back in the UFC? Anyway, yeah, so this fight's going down. It should be a good scrap. I think I'm gonna have to favor Dern on this one, but I do like this matchup a lot. How about this one? Chris Moutinho back in the picture. Is this the next story? Let's see. Oh man, I'm buffering. I'm cold with the Jar Jar. Then cancel me immediately. They did Dern's face dirty on that pic. They did. That's not cool. It's not cool. Oh man, it fucking froze. My Jar Jar imitation broke the show. Fuck. I hate when my Jar Jar impersonation breaks. Okay, let's go back to the Mma-Holes.com. By the way, the Mma-Holes.com is our website, and that's where we're pulling the stories from all over the interwebs. If you want to check out the MMA news section over there, I highly recommend it. We don't plug that enough. But I'm telling you, man, if you're bored, you got so much shit here. You see that we're live. We're live right now, and anyone that's in this container that goes live, MMA fighting, the prelims to fights, full fight cards, press conferences, podcasts, gaming streams, everything. We have actual UFC fighter gaming streams. Anytime these people are live, it jumps up in this container over here, so you're completely aware of what's going on. And we also have our Pick'em League as well. A lot of stuff to give you on this page. But the MMA news section is something that you guys may not know about. If you go here, you don't even need Twitter. And if you do have Twitter, you're still not getting the news like this. We literally got all the important outlets out there, threw them on the website, and you can literally scroll through all these feeds. Every day I wake up and I'm just kind of moseying through, sipping on some tea, just scrolling through, and we got it all here for you on the Mma-Holes.com. Save you some time. It's completely free. Let's go back to the news here and see the next story. Hanging with the boys and this Gas THC pod.
Hanging with the boys.
All righty. All right, let's get it going. My internet's it's a little wonky right now. Okay, so we're gonna go to the chat room over here, and the chat room is our message board. You can drop in the message board and speak your mind about any of the topics, or make your own topic as well. See all these topics, all these wonderful, wonderful people in here. Let's go to the news. Let's go to the news. MMA Holes app. Well, we have a conversation about an app. Can't really talk about too much, but we got a heads up from our boy Anthony. My boy Anthony was telling us there's something that might be in the works. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what's going on. So we got this fight. All right, so here we go. Chris Moutinho jumping back in the mix. How about this? More people are excited about Moutinho's return than Sean O'Malley. Let me just put Sean or Chris in the chat. KRIS. Sean or Chris, which fight are you more excited to see back in the cage? Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a poll real quick. Who are you more excited to see? I typed so slow. Return. Okay. I'm going to put Chris or Sean. That's what I'm going to do. Chris. Oh, God. I'm definitely fucking banged out. Or Sean. Okay, I'm going to drop a poll in the chat right now. I'm not going to lie. It's Moutinho for me. Just saying. But Moutinho is going to be fighting Aaron Phillips in a second UFC assignment, October 23rd. So Aaron Phillips will be his opponent. All right, drop the poll in the chat. Get your votes in. Make it quick. But I'm having a feeling here that Kris, if he wins this fight, he might like catapult past Sean O'Malley and be a bigger superstar, which is nuts. Because Kris Moutinho wasn't even thought about getting into the UFC. He just was at the right place at the right time. The Dragon. So Aaron Phillips, who is 32 years of age, coming off a loss. Jack Shore. And he has only one UFC fight. It's perfect. Perfect. So this is, I love it, man. Give Moutinho one of these guys. No one knows who the fuck he is.
Who the fuck is that guy?
And let's just go. Let's see what Kris can do. Beat this guy, and then we take it from there. Slowly bring him up, you know? After Kris Moutinho goes 2-0-2, are people still going to be excited? Well, if he goes the Nate Diaz approach, if he just walks forward and just gets mutilated, but just like, wow, that guy's tough. I don't know. People might, I don't know. He's got that shtick. He's got the green hair and shit. I think he could go 0-2 and he's going to have like a cult following. And I think he signed a multi-fight deal too with the UFC when he came in. So you might have 3 fights in him. Might have to at least see two more. So here's the poll over here. Who you're more excited to see, and I'm sure it's going to piss off a lot of people, but 62% saying Kris Moutinho out of 37 votes so far. Drop your votes in there. We won't keep it on that much longer. He'll lose that fight also, says Glide. All right, so, you know, I'm seeing some people. I think what's going to happen here, people don't like when a fighter comes in and gets a bunch of attention when he didn't get a win. You know, they don't like it. People get very mad and just go immediately with the can aspect. This person's a can, that person's a can. So I sense that in the air with Kris Moutinho. And I'm not saying this guy's a champion, but I think people are, you know, the more people like this guy, and he grew on Instagram super fast, the more people that like a guy that's losing, the more haters are going to be there too. Seeing this guy, now I think Kris might win. I mean, look at that. I mean, look at the throwing again. I mean, you got to win this one. This guy's 12-4-0. One fight in the UFC, and he was just thrown in the mix. He's got some knockouts here. Last one was in 2018. But who was he fighting? Oh, yeah, he was in the UFC before. Fuck. Damn, I don't remember this guy at all. So, all right, this guy fought. He fought in the UFC before. I had no idea. He had 2 more fights. So he fought 3 times. So let me just see this here. Did he have any wins in the UFC? No, he didn't win one damn fight. So somehow this guy loses 2 fights in the UFC. Then the next fight he loses in WFC. Then rattles off a 5-fight win streak. Knockout, choke, decision, knockout, and then loses. He gets back in the UFC and loses again. Man, this guy's got 9 lives. No wonder he looks like a cat. I don't remember this guy at all. Wow. 9 lives, Phillips. The Dragon fighting Kris Moutinho. All right, so in the chat, we see the poll. It looks like it's going to stay as is. 67%. We're going to go 3, 2, 1, and we're going to end that poll. And congratulations, Sean O'Malley. Kris Moutinho is more popular than you. So 44 votes and 65% saying Kris. Man, Minkia. All right, so there you go. I like, you know, I'm interested. It's you know, it's a fresh face. Not saying he's going to be a champion, but he's fun. I like this poll. I like this instant poll thing. We kind of get to put our finger on the pulse of the chat. Liking it. Kayla Harrison open as sizable underdog in potential future fight against Amanda Nunes. Wow. Wowzers. But what weight class are we talking here? Okay, they're saying Nunes a minus 290. Wow. And a plus 170 underdog to... Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. Harrison opened as a plus 245. All right, here we go. Okay, open as a plus 245 underdog to Nunes, okay? Who would be 290, minus 290. That's pretty wild. Right? I mean, I would pick Amanda Nunes. What weight class? It doesn't say what weight class, though. How do you make odds and you don't know what weight class? I guess it would be at featherweight. Harrison opens a sizable underdog this weekend in potential fights against her two biggest competitors, in the women's featherweight division. Two-division UFC champion. I guess they're going to do it at featherweight, if hypothetically speaking. Wow. And a plus 170 underdog to CYBORG. Wow, so CYBORG a favorite as well. Wow. That's pretty wild. Kayla's pretty confident, man. You see her at those press conferences. Harrison she's not scared of anybody, and I don't blame her. She's a big, strong, solid girl at 145. And height doesn't mean shit. She's just like a house. She's built like a house. They need to make Nunes versus CM Punk. I remember that fight, right? They were supposed to put that together. People were talking about that. I can't remember who started that conversation. Who wouldn't want to see that? Amanda is pound for pound best. Kayla trained with Amanda. She is very confident for a reason. So you're saying what she's seen in the gym. Man. Wow. So I guess you're taking the under. Look what Kat did to Nunes. Yeah, but that was many moons ago. This is a different Amanda Nunes that we're seeing right now. This is Amanda Nunes that's been there, defended multiple times, on top of her game. You know? Where guys in the gym say she hits like a dude. And this is Kayla Harrison, who's still kind of green if you really think about it. Like, who is her biggest win, Kayla Harrison? I mean, when it comes to name power, who the fuck she beat? You know, that's why it would be very tough, and that's probably why she's a big underdog in it. You just look at competition, and Amanda Nunes it's like light years better. It's interesting, though. It is a fascinating matchup. Hopefully it does happen. She has 0 big wins. I want to see Kayla fight CYBORG first before Nunes. That would make sense. And that has a better shot of happening, so I'm with you on that. Yeah, Amanda Nunes is doing her thing in the UFC. Chris CYBORG, Scott Coker is totally down with dragging his fighters around and saying, let's go. It would be very smart. Imagine PFL links up with the UFC, and then they do an event that coincides with a UFC event. Like, that would be badass. I wouldn't want to see it like that, because then we'd be like frantically going back and forth between promotions. But it'd be really like a power move if Bellator says, all right, let's get in bed with PFL and have a little fun here. Let's double team the UFC. And if you have Kayla Harrison versus Chris CYBORG, I mean, how is that not interesting? I mean, it's incredibly interesting, especially with Kayla Harrison opening as the under. Okay, let's see what else we have here. And thank you once again for the likes and donations tonight. Oh, wonderful, wonderful human beings. Deontay Wilder will gain brutal revenge over Tyson Fury within 5 rounds. Says his head trainer, Malik Scott. Excuse me. No. Sorry, guys. I picked Deontay Wilder in the first fight. And then the second fight, I picked Tyson Fury for a reason. Tyson Fury smashed him in that second fight. I was completely correct. The first fight was close, man. And Fury Wilder was seconds away from just getting that win anyway. I mean, he did knock his head fucking clean off, and somehow Fury got back up. But, some argue and say the count was long and Wilder should have won that fight. But for some reason, watching that thing go down, I was very confident that Tyson Fury would win the second fight. And I'm very, very confident that Tyson Fury wins the third. Looking forward to it, though. This is the boxing I'm talking about. Put 2 heavyweight Goliaths at each other in a sweet moving and power punching Tyson Fury versus bomb squad from hell, Deontay Wilder. It's fun. But yeah, I'm going Fury again. I'm pretty confident on this thing. But it's good to know that Wilder's confident. We're going to see what adjustments he made. Damian Maia, Jimmy Rivera, and Christina Aguilera no longer part of the UFC. We actually spoke about this. Besides the genie in the bottle, we didn't bring that up. But yeah, so John Morgan sniffed it out on the roster. We brought it up a couple of shows back, and sure enough, they are gone. And, well, Damian's best days were behind him. But Jimmy Rivera had a little left. What was he, 33, 34, somewhere around? I think he was 33. Jimmy has been around for a while, though. Had a nice win streak at one point in his career. Tough guy, but kind of a gatekeeper. So, PFL, Jimmy, go to PFL. That's what I'd like to see you. Speaking of PFL, you have Jason Knight getting ready to fight. He took all his promotional pictures, so good luck to the Jason the Kid Knight. Stipe Miocic to meet with UFC in September. Confident deal can get done. I'll get my title back. And that's actually audio from Stipe Miocic. What would you get, Stipe? Title back. All right, so he's confident. So he's not going anywhere. He's not going to 1. That's good. I know a lot of people are. I know Jesse's bummed on Stipe, but she's not thrilled about seeing him fight again. But I'm down. I'd like to see him fight Ngannou again. Make that trilogy happen. Here's the Palomino story. We showed this. If you missed it, we played the entire clip. So go check it out and check out his Instagram and send him some love. He's battling COVID, and now he's going to get the vax. A new era. Jake Paul puts UFC champ on. All right, so we spoke about this earlier. Jake Paul, and they were going back and forth on Twitter. Let's see if there's anything new. Let's see if Jorge retaliated. But both Jake Paul and Jorge has said something. What the fuck? I don't know what the fuck that is. Hats off to Manny Pacquiao. I'm a huge fan of you and your work. Alrighty. Did he take the tweet down? What? Did he take it down? Am I missing it? Did he take the tweet down? Hold on a second. Pump the brakes. Did he Conor McGregor it? Shit, well, if he did, I'm glad we showed it earlier. Oh, no, it's still there. Okay. I was like, what the fuck? I guess I passed it 4 times. Let me see something here. Tweets and replies. Okay. Yeah, I must have just passed it. So we saw what Jorge had to say. He says, I guess this means you'll stop hitting me up now on social media to hang out and train. Don't worry about me. You got a handful of problems coming your way. Super necessary. Talking about Mr. Tyron Woodley, his opponent on Sunday. And then this is what Jake Paul responds. He says, you played yourself. It's super necessary. You get your boss Dana to give you permission to get in the ring.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Saw Nelly live last night. It was wonderful, wonderful.
Oh, if you want to go take a ride with me. Must be the money.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I didn't know Nelly was still performing. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for the donation. Jake Paul says, you played yourself. It's super necessary. You get your boss Dana to give you permission to get in the ring with me since you supposed to be nice with your hands. He's getting all ghetto on us with the you supposed. And here's the meme. Hopefully Daddy Dana lets me fight with Jake now. Z. So they're setting it up. There it is. We spoke about it ad nauseum to start the show, and now you're hearing it towards the end. Okay. There's a fight on Sunday. It's Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. We will be doing the reaction, so make sure you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell. Anyone in the chat that's commenting is subscribed to the channel. Subscriber only, for God's sakes. That's what we're doing over here tonight. So thank you to the people. A round of applause to the people that subscribe to the greatest MMA channel in the world. Coming up Saturday, the tough finale. I did not even know it was a tough finale until the last stream. But here it is. They're all standing up. And I guess they're going to compete on this card. So there's going to be fighters on this card that you'll be like, who? But you do see Kevin Lee versus Daniel Rodriguez. People still have faith in Kevin Lee, even though Daniel Rodriguez is slipping in and sliding into this fight. Very tough opponent. 1986 versus the Kevin Lee. So I'm curious to see if Kevin can back up his words. Barboza versus Giga Chikadze. Ninja versus Junior. This is a fight that I would definitely stay away from when it comes to betting. And you have a -105 versus a -115. Yeah, good luck. Barboza on a 2-fight win streak. He looks better than ever right now. He looks very comfortable at this weight class. And the featherweight Giga Chikadze is unstoppable. This guy is charging up, trying to pass everyone and try to get a title shot. So Chikadze trying to throw himself in the mix. Georgia versus Brazil, which makes for a fantastic matchup. The fact that I would steer clear. You look at the odds of -105 to a -115, near even. My goodness, is anyone betting on this thing? And honestly, as we stand right now, I still don't know who I'm picking. I'm on the fence. I'm just sitting here like, okay, this is just going to be a good fight. So let me know in the chat who wins. Chikadze versus Barboza on Saturday night. And it will make up for the interesting stuff with the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, the non-interesting stuff in the Ultimate Fighter finale, because I ain't got time for that. Peter Yan is best trash talker, says Buzz Bomber. I suggest watching Tough before Saturday. Some good fights, and you will want to watch the Saturday show a lot more. I don't have time for that. Who is older? Laugh my fucking ass off. American Boy, Giga, Barboza. I'm leaning Ninja. Giga for the win, says Trippin' Hippie. I don't have time for Tough. I mean, I'd rather stare at the wall. It's the wall's more interesting. I couldn't care less about Volkanovski. Ortega's smug face. I can't stand looking at that for an entire show. And they did the exact same format as they'd done before. Wow, and this is an MMA show. Lame. Nope. That is not an MMA show. In fact, that's the MMA Kardashians. So if that's what you prefer, Brewster, good for you. We used to do fight reactions. We used to do reaction shows to The Ultimate Fighter. We even did it this season. One and done. Can't do it. And if you watch it, enjoy yourself. And if you do, use our link in the description. Kevin Lee is the real main event. Facts. A lot of people love the mythical creature, Kevin Lee, especially head tattoo Kevin. People loving this guy. And I kind of like it. Motown Phenom, I said it a million times. If you can clear up his head, has all the skills to be a champ. He does. I just feel like what's between the ears is a problem. He's best fighter as well. Missed the last 2 episodes of Tough, but it was good. So Do Chronic liked it. I don't have time for this show anymore. It's been real, guys. Take care. Undefeated, undisputed champion of the world over here. Thank you very much. Another dub for me. Only the strong survive, guys. Only the strong survive. All right. So this card over here, let me know what you think about it. You got Mearshart versus Muradov. You got Razak Alasan versus Di Chirico. By the way, I forgot how long Di Chirico was in the business. We were going back in our old streams, and we saw him young, young Di Chirico. This guy, he's been around longer than I've realized. So he's 13-5-0. When did this guy get into the UFC? I was shocked when I saw him on the card. 2016. Honestly, I thought he was here like the last 2 years. 2.5 years or so. But yeah, he's been here since 2016. So Di Chirico looking to get the job done. Man is coming off a nice win in his last fight. In fact, it was a finish, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the head kick. That's right. Buckley. I do remember that. Shocking everyone. The hype train Buckley. Di Chirico giving him the old Jake Paul. Shh. Let's look at Bellator. Is there Bellator? By the way, AJ McKee was on Ariel Helwani, and he's a really likable guy. Like seemed like a super cool dude, super nice guy. He says he wants to fight Pitbull's brother. If Pitbull's taking a break, give me his brother. He knows it's not a title shot, but at 155, make it happen. All right, I'm cool with that. He'll beat up Pitbull's brother and then makes the fight at 155 for the strap even more exciting. But Bellator, I don't know if there's anything going on. Oh, September 18th, light heavyweight main event. Put your popcorn in your face as we have the most boring fighter ever. The most boring fighter of all time. The man who used to be in the UFC, who's done fairly well in Bellator. Mr. Davis. Phil Davis versus Yoel Romero. They're going at it, and maybe let's see how this goes. I hope that this doesn't this is an old Yoel, but he still looks yoked. Yoked Romero. I hope that this doesn't turn into Yoel be hesitant on going after Phil Davis. And, oh, God. Phil Davis has been more boring fights than anyone. But anyway, that's happening September 18th. Okay. September 18th. And PFL, I think, is Friday night. So let's take a look at PFL, and then we'll get the food out here. PFL. Davis beats Romero. I mean, it's possible. If we got a decision, yeah, you know what? I might be with you. So Friday, August 27th is the card. And here we go. We got Lugname versus Khaybulov. Lugname was on Ariel's show. A little excited to be on Ariel's show. He's got that crooked nose. Who else we got? Oh, my gosh, man. He's still... Chris Wade never gives up, man. This guy had one highlight. And really nice guy, Chris Wade. But I had one highlight in the PFL organization where they threw it all over the place. It was a flying knee or something. And then really hasn't done much since then. So he's fighting Jenkins. You got the return of Carlos Jr. versus Sorty. And Ferrer versus Hamlet. And then, yeah. Oh, Chris Carmozzi still doing it too. There he is, Jason the Kid Knight, who they really, really airbrushed this man's face. Mike. Hold on. I saw this is what he posted on Instagram. Oh, not this. That's poor Luis Palomino. Jason Knight. Oh, my God. Thank God it's Bruce's gone, man. I never thought we would ever get rid of that guy. Okay. Whew. Got so low. We hit the lottery tonight. All right, so here's Jason Knight's pictures. And, I mean, is it me or does he look like extra airbrushed? He's talking about he doesn't look like an old man anymore in the poster. Dude, doesn't he looks like before he was in the UFC. You know what he kind of looks like in these pictures? He looks like Snoke. I'm making a lot of Star Wars references, but he looks like the Sith Lord Snoke. Like a young Snoke. He should play Snoke if they do the younger years in the new Star Wars movies. All right. I'm fucking done. I'm done. I think I'm done with all this. I think we hit everything that was supposed to hit. A big shout out to our sponsors once again, Head Rush, Mystic Roots, CBD.com, and Ballsy, Ballwash.com. We got the two links. We got Head Rush down below. We got Ballsy down below. Not much longer for Ballsy for the 15% off. And we have Mystic Roots, CBD.com for 20% off. The best CBD in the world, MysticRootsCBD.com. Also, the UFC. If you'd like to watch the events this weekend or Tough. Tough was last night. If you like to watch Tough or whatever, it's winding down anyway, so. But, Tough is on ESPN Plus. You got fight nights. You got pay-per-views. Anyone that uses the link down below helps us out tremendously, and it's wonderful, wonderful. And thank you very much for doing so. All right. Thank you, everyone in the chat.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Don't be done. Smiley face.
Tsunami Pulls, baby, with a $10 donation. My man. Thank you. There's a little donkey in the background. I got to eat dinner, but thank you very much. I appreciate that. That was very generous of you dropping the 999. Everyone that dropped a donation, thank you so much tonight. But we must leave the show. As we started late, we end late. We appreciate you, as always. But it's time to get out of here. Friday night we'll be back on the show. We have PFL to react to, and we have the new Fuqua Friday game. We'll see you then. Saturday UFC, Sunday Paul versus Masvidal. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you're wonderful, wonderful. And always remember, don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA hole. Did you hear that music? Did you hear that outro music? So something is wrong. Let me know what the ones in the chat if you heard the outro music, or the twos if you didn't. Let me play this again. What the fuck? So, fun fact, a little behind the scenes, that you heard it then, right? You heard it when I fixed it. Everything got all fooked. So when I did the car thing, it wasn't meant to be quiet. It just OBS glitched on us. So don't be an a-hole, be an MMA hole.